Hey kids, implicitly not a Spider-Man channel here. There's a really subtle theme that's carried throughout Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man films that reaches its massive climax in No Way Home. And without sounding pedophilic, it's about little boys. What's the most important scene for Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker? I'd argue it's saving the little boy on the bridge, because it's a precise moment where he transforms from being a man on a selfish mission to discover a larger purpose that his persona can answer, where he finally sees himself outside of his own eyes to ironically formulate his sense of I.
Somebody help! Help me, my kid is trapped! It's alright. Just a normal guy.
What the little boy on the bridge represents is a symbolic mirror stage. Originated from Jacques Lacan, it describes the moment where the baby sees themselves reflected and for the first time pictures themselves as an other, a subject, and it's within this unity that the self is created.
Who are you? Spider-Man.
As a result, Lacan argued the self is never whole. It's a projection based on the unification with the coherency of this image. Prior to the scene, Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker was at his heart still a little boy. The film makes a conscious decision to not open with him already a teenager, but as a kid whose parents abandoned him as he wanted to play games. Then the most important point of establishment happens with little boy Peter Parker looking at the glass door where his parents left, fading to the present where he stares at his own reflection. Before shaking his head, the weight has turned to disappointment, then emptiness, and now loneliness. This is a dude dealing with an invisible trauma. Of course, I'm going to bring up trauma. One of the defining qualities of traumatic experiences is the feeling of constant involuntary re-experiencing of the past, where painful memories just keep resurfacing and you can't really do anything about it and you can't really assimilate it. As a result, it's due to these symptoms, Andrew's Peter Parker is a total outsider who sits alone and often observes life through a camera than actually with himself, for the reason that closeness in relationships adds an element of risk. The line of dialogue that displays this quality the most is during the argument scene, where Peter Parker reveals the source of his anger.
Where's my dad? He didn't think it was his responsibility to be here to tell me this himself.
Come on, how dare you?
How dare I? How dare you?
How it comes from an unfinished sense of resentment towards his parents for leaving. His parents are like an open wound. Therefore, it is through this very specific singular moment where Peter Parker takes off his mask, gives it to the boy, and returns him to his father, that the wound begins to heal. Spider-Man 1 ended with Peter Parker honoring Ben's grave. Amazing 1, in contrast, ends with Ben honoring Peter Parker, reassuring him he's his hero. He's no longer a little boy without a father, but can be the one who brings them together. The death of Ben and George Stacy represents Peter's readiness to stop being afraid of being left behind and accept that he's actually ahead. He accepts he's worthy of love. He's good.
I'm just no good for her.
Peter Parker, if there's one thing you are, it's good.
So where does Gwen fit in? Amazing Spider-Man 2 at its heart is about the bravery to live life with hope in spite of time running out. It opens with Richard Parker's watch before he died. A clock kills Gwen and Harry is running out of time. Peter is a man searching for more time with the dead, and Electro plays dubstep in Times Square. Gwen Stacy represents the lost time that Peter is losing as he searches for closure. Closure which allows him to feel whole finally.
I always thought that I'd have more time.
To know that his parents didn't just abandon him because they didn't care, but they left precisely because they did. And his powers are their gift to him. But it comes at the price of Gwen. The Parkers and Gwen storylines are supposed to compete structurally, but unfortunately there's so much that's going on that's fighting for your attention that any emotional impact is like totally lost. However, it is due to Peter's obsession and neglect of her that creates the situation where Gwen arrives to the danger of the scene.
I'm not messing around. You can't be here right now. This is
Okay,
insane.
guess what? Nobody makes my decisions for me. all right? Nobody. This is
to aid and eventually die. However, after Gwen's death, the one thing that does give Peter meaning, a sense of continuity to go back to, is once again the needs of a little boy waiting. The kid he defended now keeps the dream alive. Peter Parker himself is no longer looking for a father, he is figuratively one now. At the end, he comes to its aid, to defend the city. Not as a child looking for answers, be it the man who killed his uncle or looking for the approval of other fathers, but as a man himself. For Andrew's Spider-Man, this responsibility isn't a curse, but a therapy, because he got to heal his wounds every single day he put on the mask. What Gwen's broader thematic purpose does is to act as a secondary point of trauma that reinforces Peter Parker's unity with his reflection, to strengthen his sense of continuity as the protector of that boy. But what happens if you make this reflection less abstract and literally with himself? No Way Home, like the rest of the Home trilogy, is about lost futures, where Tom's Peter has to forfeit what he deserves in order to self-actualize who he really is. The life as an Avenger, the life as just Peter Parker, then the life with his friends at university. Ironically, his lost future with MJ also represents the lost future that Andrew's Peter wished he had. After the death of Gwen, he retreated to a place of darkness and missed years of his life that Toby's Peter achieved.
You have someone?
No. Do you?
That's a little complicated.
I guess it's just not in the cards for guys like us.
I wouldn't give up. It took a while, but we made it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While becoming the man Tom's Peter is destined to be if he gives into his pain after losing May, if he loses hope.
I couldn't save her. I'm never gonna be able to forgive myself for that. But I carried on, tried to keep going, tried to keep being that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, because I know that's what she would have wanted, but at some point I stopped pulling my punches. I got bitter. I just don't want you to end up like me.
Tom's Peter Parker is the little boy who died inside Andrew's Peter when Gwen died. The unity of the reflection once again finds a new form, except this time he must be the one doing all the inspiring, and through being able to contextualize Tom's pain through his, they become a mirror for each other. As a result, Andrew's Spider-Man gets his happy ending thematically. He saves MJ, saving Gwen, therefore saving the little boy again. He hands Tom's Peter the cure for Norman, therefore saving the little boy. When Tom's Peter couldn't find the right words, Andrew's Peter reassures him.
I really don't know how to say this. I want you to know that
He embraces the little boy. Tom didn't just give the dead a second chance at life, he also gave Andrew's Peter a second chance to live his life again too. Andrew's Peter got to find closure with his own mistakes, and through Toby saw a window into another future of possibilities. Like where his journey started on the bridge, a new chapter begins for him as he sees another kid wearing the same mask, reflecting upon the same journey. If Toby's Peter is about someone holding on to his innocence in the face of many temptations in the present,
my mind was playing tricks too.
Tom is about the anxieties of facing an uncertain future and sacrificing what he wants to live forwards truthfully.
I mean, I'd rather just stay on the ground for a little while. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Andrew is about making meaning from the past, by answering and making peace with it, and it's all through identifying with the little boy who's still waiting inside him, waiting to find purpose outside of himself. His great power and great responsibility isn't towards the dead, it's towards life, the life he couldn't have. Be it being part of a complete family, be it the guy who had someone to protect from bullies, or be it with a different version of himself who hasn't been tainted by darkness.
Hey, nice catch. Nice throw.
Now that I feel like a pedophile for saying little boy so many times, here's an obligatory music tribute to help close my essay.
All the crazy circumstances we just leave behind. Ooh, leaving early, following the sun. You keep saying life begins here, down the 101. It's like we were made for all the perfect moments like these. I just want us to get more. And forever, all of the time.
You're in so much pain.
I am.
It's like we were made for all the perfect moments like these. I just want us to get more and forever all of the time. You'll be mine all of the time. You'll be
Human identity is a complex project. It's never fixed and it's never truly independent. Instead, its construction is deeply tied to the symbols around us. Without the connections around us, we're never truly whole. Without mirrors, we don't see. And without the ability to see ourselves whole, there's no unity. That was my pretentious closer. I don't know.
Don't know if I was aware a piece was missing. In this puzzle I used to call my life. Oh no, didn't even care.
Yeah, so that was my Andrew Garfield Spider-Man trauma/mirror stage essay. Throughout the last year, I've kind of unconsciously dug myself into a grave where only Spider-Man videos do well. So here's another one, guys. I guess now I'm gonna have to sandwich all of my passion projects with more Spider-Man stuff, which I guess is fine because I've got a lot planned. And also I guess I can't really moan because this is like the most first world problem ever. Anyways, I ended up really enjoying making this video because I fucking love Andrew Garfield. So much that this actually had one of the fastest turnarounds ever. It was literally made in like probably 18 hours altogether. Anyways, special thanks to all my patrons. The commentary tracks for the Spider-Man films should be out very soon, I promise. And special thanks to the 6,000 of you who watched my Joker essay. You guys are my new besties.
You're amazing. Just to take it in for a minute.
Yeah, I can take it in. No, I can take it in.
You are amazing.
I can take it in.
You are amazing.
Thank you, yeah,
Will
thanks.
you say it?
No, I kind of needed to hear that. Thank you.